Oh. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om and good evening from Niagara Falls. All of us are Chinmaya inspiration, yatris. And if we try to understand what this identification means, yatra, in a technical sense, means a pilgrimage. We know this to be an outward expression of an inward journey. We know this to be ya means to go outside. Ya means to move inside. Which is why before the word yatra comes, the word inspiration comes. I know all of us are motivated. When a strong influence comes from a circumstance or a being, we change. But once that influence is removed from that being or that circumstance, we go back to the way we were. We are all motivated. An insensitive person is not even motivated, but all of us are motivated. There's a level of sensitivity that allows us to grow, but it still means that we're dependent. We're dependent on that outside influence. We have to take that influence and internalize this. The word manana means to make your own. That's what inspiration is. When one wants to change, one is changing, irrespective of circumstances and beings. This is one's own. This is natural to oneself. Inspiration. And inspiration towards what? Inspiration towards hurting others, inspiration towards being indulgent. Chinmaya. Maya means to be filled with, pervaded by. Chit. Chit means knowledge. Chit means awareness. Our yatras are a journey for us to be inspired towards awareness. Not being conscious or unconscious, but being aware of one's potential, one's nature. Shared differently, this journey is from the Anandamaya Kosha to Ananda. The Anandamaya Kosha is a trick. It's an illusion. It's where the ego tells us that I am absolute. And I have my ego and you have your ego. So separation is reality. But the word kosha is used. Kosha means sheath. If there's a sheath, there has to be something deeper, something closer, and that is when you remove the kosha, the sheath, so you remove the pervaded by, the maya, and what remains is ananda. We are Chinmaya Inspiration Yatris if we are cheerful, if we are independently joyous. And if we're not, we are simply egotistical. Right now, if we can define what our day was like, our week was like, it would be sakama shrama. Keyword here being shrama. Kama means desire. Sakama, whose desire? Desire for me. My desire for me. And in our Bhagavad Gita course, I use the terminology of sakama karma, but here I'm changing it to sakama shrama. Shrama means labor. When someone has desires for themselves, when they think about life only from their perspective, they're not even engaged in action. They're simply engaged in labor. Like the Honda Civic I drive, that engine labors. That's it. It's not thinking. It's not going anywhere. It's simply laboring. And some of us are like that too. And Bhagavan Krishna tells Prince Arjuna, on your Jivan Yatra, right now you lack joy, right now you lack cheer, so you have to evolve from sakama shrama to nishkama karma. Niskama becomes nishkama, means without desire. But we all know that everything we do is based on desire. You're in this satsang, I'm facilitating this satsang because we have a desire to go from ego to self. Nishkama means I have a desire that's no longer about me and mine. It's no longer I'm thinking about my perspective only. This is selflessness in a very simple way. Then this becomes karma. I'm no longer a laborer. I am engaged in action. There's meaningfulness behind that. Nishkama karma. As one immerses themselves in this evolves more to shuddhi. Shuddhi in an external way means cleanliness, but you know I mean chitta shuddhi, which is not cleanliness of the mind, it is purification of our inner doer, our antakarana, our software. I'm using the term inner doer because it is this inner doer that says, I do, I deserve. But the more and more and more pure this inner doer is, there's less focus on, I deserve this. And a subtle way of deservership being expressed is expectation. See, we think, I don't feel like I deserve, but if we have expectations, that is deservership. And why is that deservership there? Because of doership. I feel that I'm separate from you, I'm doing, and most often it's you're not doing, isn't it? So I expect you to start doing this too. So subtle. And if we're not paying attention, we get lost in this. Chitta Shuddhi. As we immerse ourselves in Chitta Shuddhi, this evolves to Pramana. What pramana? Jnana pramana, where knowledge from our Sadguru, from our Shastras, becomes authoritative, becomes impactful. We've all been exposed to these teachings of selflessness and joy for so long. Some of you have been on the first Chinmaya Inspiration Yatra in 2011. It's now 2018. For 7 years, we've been exposed to this. And it's not like the message changes. Some of you have been part of 8 virtual courses that we've facilitated together. Every course has the same message, just looked at differently. But that knowledge doesn't have impact. Because I keep thinking, I deserve, so I don't change them. But as I feel less, I deserve. When the Sadguru and the Shastra says, you are not Anandamaya, you are Ananda, I start to feel independently joyous. And a gauge of someone who's more independently joyous is they're more balanced. The more dependent we are, the less balanced we are. The more independent we are, the more balanced we are. So think of your day, your week. If you are balanced, it shows there's independence there. And when this knowledge is authoritative, finally there is tyaga. Tyaga of what? Ahankara tyaga. I let go of ego. I let go of separation. And as soon as I let go, I realize I am what I've been seeking. That this joy has not come from an outside source. I am joy. This letting go is challenging. In the Bhagavad Gita course, all of chapter 18 focuses on tyaga. Arjuna has let go to an extent, but Bhagavan Krishna guides him to let go fully. And when one lets go fully, that's only possible if one's holding on fully, correct? So this letting go is only possible when we're guided. No different than when Vyasa is walking around, trying to walk around, and we say, you can take your hands off of that stool or that chair. If he sees us, he knows that there's support there, there's a greater propensity to put his hands up. But if we're not there, he's not going to do that as readily because that guidance is not there. And we see this with Prince Arjuna. He does let go fully, which means he's holding on to Bhagavan Krishna fully. Arjuna is a sannyasi. And I was just with Pujya Swami Srupananda. He said inside we should all be sannyasis. Someone who Samnyasa. Nyasa means I know what I'm not. Sam means I know what I am. Possible when we're guided. During our yatras, I know we all feel guided by the people who are teaching us, the people who are facilitating our journey. We want to ensure that we're not just motivated, but we're inspired. We are going to continue to invoke this guidance through a lovely shastra called Manah Shodanam. Manah Shodanam. Manaha we know means the mind, that which thinks. Shodhana means purify, purification. Manah Shodana is a text on how to purify the mind. That way all of the knowledge that we're exposed to becomes more impactful. This is a simple shastra, and the simplicity allows us to practice this. Our Chinmaya Inspiration Yatra Satsanga will be once a month. So the 1 hour of satsang we have, then we have a whole month to practice. And the simplicity of the satsang allows this practice to be more available to us. And the more we practice, the next month's satsang will be more revealing. Manah Shodanam. We begin with the first shloka. I'll chant each pada, each quarter. You please repeat. Paramatma dvayanandaha, Paramatma dvayanandaha, Sarvabhutastitopiha, Sarvabhutastitopiha, Ajnanena vrato drishtaha, Ajnanena vrato drishtaha, Tateva cha manomalaihi, Tateva cha manomalaihi. Together, Paramatma dvayanandaha, Sarvabhutastitopiha, Ajnanena vrato drishtaha, Tateva cha manomalaihi. What Pujya Swami Tejamayinanda shares in this opening shloka is, and I apologize, I'm going back and forth between Zoom and a website. I thought I had my text and I looked carefully, but I don't have my text here, so I found a shady version online that I'm trying to reconcile if it's correct or not. I will have a text soon too, as I sat here and judged all of the people who don't have a text. Paramatma Advaya Ananda. We all know that Atma means that which is closest. And here, the qualification is Parama Atma. So that we're clear that, I think that my chest is close to me. My heart is closer than that. I can keep on coming with these reference points. But Parama means absolute. There is nothing that is more close to me. Paramatma. What is that which is close to me? Advaya. Advaya means oneness. What is closest to me is oneness. And if you think about this in a most practical sense, when you feel at one with yourself, you feel more secure, correct? When you feel at one in a hotel, you feel comfortable, right? When you feel at one on a highway, you're at ease. So that Advaya is the same as Anandaha, which is joy. What is closest to me is this oneness. This oneness is joy. What's closest to me is not mine. What's closest to me is me. I am happiness. And taking this into our month, how do we practice this? That which is closest should naturally mean that which is most valuable, correct? My nail is not as valuable as my finger, correct? Because my finger is closer to me than my nail. My brain is much closer than my scalp. It's closer, so it's more valuable. So for all of us, today, this week, the upcoming month, are we making happiness most valuable? And measure this. How much time do you give towards developing happiness? How much time do you give towards developing your bank account, your prestige, your muscles even? That which is closest has to be most valuable, if one is logical. Where is this oneness? Sarva, all. Bhuta, beings. That is humans, that is plants, that is animals, that is stones, that is gods. Sthita. Some people define sthita as heart. Sthita means standing, present. Apiha. This divinity is not just closest to me, it's closest to all beings. This is a lovely, lovely, lovely teaching. It shows that we are all on the same team. It shows that we're all of the same nature. This knowing helps us to start to be supportive of each other rather than competing against each other. This presence is life. Whenever we talk about life, we think about I'm alive or I'm dead. That's not life, that's living. Sarva bhuta sthita, that's life. Life is manifest or felt as existence awareness. Every being is existent, correct? The gods, animals, plants, stones, every being is aware. This phone is also of the nature of awareness but cannot express it. When this phone is on airplane mode, nothing comes into the phone, nothing goes out of the phone, correct? It's just there. But as soon as that mode changes, stuff comes in and out of this phone. It has that, the potential changes. So imagine between a stone and a plant, a stone has airplane mode on and the plant has pseudo airplane mode on. Then an animal is back on no airplane mode, and then when we become humans, back on airplane mode. Nothing goes in and nothing goes out. But you see, my point is that potential is there. Whether that potential is tapped into is different, but the potential is there. Sarva bhuta sthita, that presence. In the next quarter, ajnanena avrato adrishtaha. So why is it that I'm unable to make happiness the purpose? How come I don't feel this oneness with those around me? Because of ajnana. And ajnana is a word that we throw around so much. Ajnana is ignorance. Ignorance is ignoring. Ignorance is ignoring. When I ignore happiness, I'm ignorant of happiness. When I ignore cleanliness, I'm ignorant of cleanliness. And there are ramifications to this. Where there's ajnana, there is avarna. Avarna means there's a veiling. There is darkness. There is tamas. And where there's a veiling, darkness, tamas, naturally what is the expression of that? Adrishta. One can't see. When one ignores the purpose of life, they don't see the purpose of life. When one ignores their health, they don't eat well, they don't exercise well. This ignoring of life, existence, awareness, joy, makes our living very dark. Dark here means filled with stress, anxiety, depression, and on and on and on. If we ignore, we stop seeing. And Swami Tejamayana completes this shloka by saying, Tata eva cha manaha malaihi. So in addition to the ignorance, the ignoring that causes there to be darkness and I can't see, compounding this is the mala, the impurities of the manaha, or the mind. Shared differently, where there's avarna, what else is going to be there? Vikshepa. Where there's avarna, there's vikshepa. Avarna is me ignoring happiness. Vikshepa is me projecting happiness, me expecting happiness. Vikshepa. And wherever there's vikshepa, what's coming next? You've heard me say this 500 times. 10,000 times. Raga. Raga is attachment. And for most of us, what is our primary attachment? Our family, isn't it? We expect our family to provide us happiness. We project our happiness onto them. And where there's raga, what's next after that? Bhaya. Fear. One is scared then. Scared that this person's gonna be there, not gonna be there, this person's gonna be like this, not going to be like this. And naturally where there's bhaya then comes krodha. Krodha is anger. In a more daily expression of krodha is frustration. One is always frustrated because one is always afraid, because they're dependent. That dependency came from that projection, that expectation. That came from, I don't know the purpose of life. I'm not making happiness valuable. So here Guruji completes the shloka by talking about the impurities of mind, because what does jnana mean? That which quietens. We have to be relatively quiet to be able to tune into deeper quietude. We have to deal with some vikshepa, meaning I have to quieten some of this projection before I can access the avarana. But if my mind is too wild, I can't study Advaita Vedanta. I can't feel my nature. Manah Shodanam is a deep text, but it's actually considered an introductory text. So as we keep studying, we won't feel like it's an introductory text. Maybe the way to interpret this, it's the most practical text. We'll study one more shloka. So I go back to this shady website to hope that these shlokas are correct. Jnanena tutad ajnane. Jnanena tutad ajnane. Nashte bhati swayam hi saha. Nashte bhati swayam hi saha. Satyam etat tatapiha. Satyam etat tatapiha. Kashtam ekam cha vartate. Kashtam ekam cha vartate. Together. Jnanena tutadaddi ajnane. Nashte bhati swayam hi saha. Satyam etat tatapiha. Kashtam ekam cha vartate. Is it the correct shlokas? Yes? Okay. So what Swami Tejramananda shares here, in the previous shloka you heard the word ajnanena, and this shloka begins with jnanena. And the implication being that ignorance has caused this darkness, has caused me to not see. So naturally, with knowledge, this will counter, this will cure that ignorance. Ignorance is ignoring the purpose of life and happiness. Then naturally, knowledge is knowing the happiness, knowing the purpose of life. And right now I may not know it. So instead of knowing, here jnana can mean remembering. It is through remembrance that knowing comes to be. So remembering happiness, remembering the purpose of life perpetually. So many of you were gifted a perpetual reminder. That perpetual reminder in Sanskrit is nididhyasana. Nitaram dhyehi, to perpetually keep in one's mind to be virtuous, to let go of the ego. So it is through perpetually remembering happiness, that my relationship is for happiness, my travel is for happiness, my body is for happiness, my work is for happiness, my satsang is for happiness, my yatra is for happiness. By perpetually remembering that, I go from ignoring happiness to remembering happiness to knowing happiness. And that is shared strongly in the next pada. Nashte, that is destroyed, dissolved. What is that? Ignorance. And when that's not there, bhati swayam hi saha, naturally, effortlessly, swayam, myself, bhati, shines. I experience this. In other words, when I remember perpetually who I am, I start to know who I am. And when I know who I am, I be who I am. In a sacred science, in a subjective science, knowing is being. Brahmavit, Brahmeva bhavati. The one who knows infinity is infinity. That's what makes this a subjective science. When I know the subject, that means I am the subject. You don't have to become the subject, you just have to know you are that subject. In more worldly terms, when I unlearn what I'm not, there's a natural flow or learning of what I am. Knowing is being, like when you know someone is unwell, you instantaneously become more compassionate. You listen more. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to eat anything or wear anything. There's a compassion, there's an understanding, there's a patience that comes with, if I know this person is not well or this person is enduring some sort of kata, some challenge in life. See how that knowing changes so much of who I am? And that's in a worldly way. Imagine I know my nature. Satyam etat tata api iha. Etat, what is being described, is satya. All that has been shared about, through knowing, ignoring is dissolved, and I come to experience who I am. This is the truth. And we see so many examples of this in nature, specifically in our study of Atma Bodha. In Atma Bodha, how many times there were shlokas about when the clouds are pushed away, what was there, what is there, what will be there? The sun. When there's moss on water and that moss is pushed away, what's there? That water is there. When I know that this is a rope, then that feeling of this being a snake, that's released. When I know the post, that ghost, I don't have to punch that ghost. I don't have to spray that ghost. It's dissolved. There's lots and lots of examples that we see in nature of when you let go, the truth is revealed. Nature is revealed. We interact like this all the time in our most vulnerable and honest moments. Letting go of everything else, we really come to know who we are. We come to know who someone else is, correct? Otherwise, we're lost in small talk. More masks and more masks and more masks. How we really look is not right now, but it's after we wash our face tonight, correct? And we wear comfortable clothes. That's really who we are. We should look like that all the time, no? That's what we do on our yatras, correct? I tell you, stop combing your hair. I don't. Stop shaving. I don't. Today I didn't even have to leave the house, so I didn't even wear deodorant today either. Matters like that. This deodorant is useful, but still it's unnatural, correct? That's why I sort of like being in India, because they don't have full usage of that in certain contexts. So though this is the truth, kashtam ekam cha vartate, to know this, to understand this, to experience this is kashtam. It's difficult. And we all know that. What does the acronym SDW stand for? Simple, difficult, worthwhile. So simple. That's the first line of this second shloka. The second line is saying it's difficult. But remember, there's still 23 shlokas. It is worthwhile to purify the mind. Because as the mind becomes more pure, I become more cheerful. I become more joyous. Again, insights into unlearning. Manah Shodanam is trying to guide us from being so activity-oriented to being being-oriented. We think that the more activity I'm engaged in, the more cheerful I'll become. But if the purpose of that activity is not clear, I'm not going to be more cheerful. But if I'm activity-oriented with this clear purpose, it's really not an activity. It's me going from becoming to being. That's why those with a clear purpose are tireless, because they're not engaged in activity. Our bodies are not tired, our minds tire us because there's not enough meaning. As family people, in school, working, seva, we keep suffering from stress, anxiety, depression, from frustration, from fear, from attachment. We have to evolve from being just activity-oriented to finding meaning in our activity, so that all of our becoming is leading us to being. Being independently joyous.